as passive income in the digital age, and how to beat the broken system. I almost call this how to quit your day job, but really, you know, quitting your day job may or may not be everybody's goal. Um, I mean, really, you might be happy where you're at, right? You might be a school teacher. You love your job. You're happy teaching the kids. You're fulfilling your purpose in life. You might, work for a company that you're super excited about their mission, and you're really, it's a 9 to 5, but you love it. Um, you're just really happy with where you're at in your life, right? But maybe adding a little extra income might not be a bad thing for you. Also, looking ahead to retirement, right? Do you think you're going to be where you need to be at for retirement? Um, sadly, um, sadly, a lot of individuals really aren't. I think I read somewhere, recently that the average 401k balance for individuals as they reach retirement age, right now at this point is like 150 to $200,000. And quite honestly, how long is that going to last you into retirement? Not a lot, unfortunately. So, what really is considered enough in retirement and in your retirement account for you to live comfortably? So let's talk now to some of the, maybe some of the younger individuals. You're 30 years old. You're just starting off. You're maybe in the job market for a while. You're starting to save. If you save for the 35 years and you're starting at zero, if you're saving, if you're earning about $8,000 per month, and I think that's average. That's the national average. Again, some are under and some are over that. Um, but if you contribute 4% of your salary to a 401k, and you're fortunate where your company's matching that, so you're putting 8% of that $8,000 every month into your 401k. And if you take into account the average 3% pay raise per year, and then also assume that on that balance um, that you're contributing to, you're growing at a rate of return of about 5%, which 5% is relatively strong rate. I mean, you're not always going to make that 5% return, but we're gonna use that as our assumption. So where does that get you at the end of 35 years? So you start saving now at the age of 30. You reach 65. You're at 893,000. Seems pretty good, right? It's a little significantly more than the average 150 to 200,000 that most individuals have currently. But first, can you achieve that? Do you think you can? Hopefully you can, right? Is that enough? We always heard of that $1 million mark, right? $1 million is always sort of that high top notch figure that everybody wants to reach. You think once you hit the $1 million in your saving account, you're set. You're a millionaire, right? What's kind of crazy is the term millionaire really came about back in the 1700s, and I think it was Jefferson actually that actually first used that term in print. So think about how old that is. You're referring to somebody as being a millionaire. You're talking 200 years of inflation, over 200 years of inflation. So really, is that $1 million enough? Now let's assume that you're still earning 5% return on your account once you retire, and you comfortably draw $5,000 per month. Now, $5,000 per month to live on in retirement doesn't sound too bad, right? That will actually last you from the age of 65 to 100. So quite a few number of years, right? So not too bad, right? You can survive on 5,000. And that this will last you till you hit the age of about 100. Problem is, this is 2022, and you're starting your 401k investment, and you're contributing, 4%, and your employer's matching that on a salary of $8,000. So let's just assume that you're living paycheck to paycheck. So you're living on $8,000 every month at this point. That's a lot higher than 5,000. Now, let's take inflation into account. 35 years from now, that $8,000 that you're living on, you're going to need $38,000 to equal that 8,000. That is substantially lower than $5,000 a month, right? I know, a little bit hard to believe. I know, and it's a little bit scary too. Um, Now we'll tell you that 38,000 is based on inflation. I mean, remember that 5% return on investment? Where's it going? Well, inflation last year in 2021 was 4.7%. Okay? 4.7% inflation. Now, granted, that might be a little bit higher than what it typically runs, over the long term. I think I read somewhere 3% is, your typical inflation. But look at this year. What's the rate now? I think I've heard as high as 8%. Um, it's definitely it definitely makes you think, right? So, um, and again, we talked that number of the 38,000, right? That was based on 4.7%. If you use a rate of 3%, it's more like 20,000. But regardless, a far cry from the $5,000. So what am I telling you? I'm making you angry, right? Maybe a little bit worried. You're tired. You're working a job. You're doing your 9 to 5. You're putting in your time. You think you're doing what's right, um, but still you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're just looking forward to retirement. And now I'm telling you that you might not be able to live the best life that you want to live during retirement. Um, you know, Again, don't shoot the messenger. Um, I was just surprised whenever I started digging into this, as you are as well. Um, but this is not when you give up. This is the point where now you know the information, you know what to do with it. You're not going to be surprised. So, what do you do? If you can't beat the system, you got to join it. And again, I'm not saying the system is absolutely totally broken. I mean, the American dream is the American dream. Um, it's very hard to short sell what has occurred in this country over the last 200 plus years. You know, the the American experiment has created more wealth and more opportunity for people than any time in history. And what's even more exciting right now is, with the digital age that we're in, um, that opportunity is not out of reach for the common person either. Um, there's so much opportunity that you can reach out and grab right now that just wasn't available to the average individual 20 years ago, 10 years ago even. Um, so let's go a little bit further. So again, I'm not saying the system's absolutely totally broken, um, but you got to know how to work the system. You got to know how it works. Um, so let's break this down into 3 easy steps. Hopefully you find this easy to follow, and hopefully by the end here you'll be as excited as I am to jump in and really start making your life what it can be. So step number one: identify the best source of passive income for you. You want to start adding revenue streams. You don't want to replace revenue streams. I'm not advocating going out tomorrow and quitting your job and becoming a serial entrepreneur, living off of passive income. Maybe long term, that's a possibility for you. But initially, what you want to do is, you want to start adding income streams. That's how the rich get richer. Um, they leverage, they leverage other people's money. They leverage opportunity, and they add revenue streams. They add passive income that's working for them when they're not working. They make their money, and frankly, other people's money work for them. So step one, identify the passive income. Step two, how are you going to do that? Well, you could go out on your own and you could start doing it. You can, you know, trial and error. But the best way to do it is learn from experts who have already been there and already done that. And then step three, radically change your perspective. And when I say radically change, I mean you're going to absolutely want to unlearn everything that you were taught in school. You're going to want to learn. Um, you're going to be excited to learn. Let's just put it that way. You're going to be excited at, once the scales start falling off your eyes and you're seeing what's really possible out there. You're going to be super excited. So let's take a step back. Let's talk about what passive income is. Um, Really, it's quite simple. It's income that you're getting from sources other than your paid labor. Now, paid labor obviously can be a 9 to 5 job. It could be, you could be an entrepreneur already. You could have your own business that, maybe you're a landscaper. Maybe you're in construction. Um, at any rate, labor. You're getting paid for your product, for your production. Um, Many individuals, they get paid for their hours at work. You work at a grocery store as a cashier, you're getting paid X amount of dollars to sit there and ring that register all day. It doesn't matter, what you produce. You're there for those hours. Now, passive income, again, it's what you're going to, you're developing assets that are going to pay you when you're not actually sitting there at the desk working, or behind that register working. It's going to um, pay you for your knowledge rather than for your hours. So again, what are some of the biggest benefits? You can earn money while you're doing other activities. That's working your 9 to 5. You can keep your day job, until you get above income replacement. Um, but the best thing is, you can actually earn money while you're sleeping. You can earn money while you're at your kid's soccer game. It's really incredible what passive income can do for you. So what are some of the biggest disadvantages? Whenever I'm saying disadvantages, this is historically. What are some of the historical disadvantages of passive income? Now, this is prior to the digital age. Um, Typically, you're investing in real estate. Um, you know, one of the the biggest forms of passive income, right? Maybe you're a silent partner in a in a business. But the biggest disadvantage historically to passive income was it required large amounts of cash to invest up front, to get into those investments, and you got modest returns. You weren't necessarily seeing the highest rate of return, and again, higher risk as well. You got a lot of capital on the line, and you're dealing in brick and mortar at that point. So again, higher risk. But again, fortunately, we are now in the digital age. So passive income is just a totally new animal at this point in time. So with that, what you're going to be doing, rather than brick and mortar, you're going to be building digital assets. Um, Again, a lot more benefit, and some of those benefits you're seeing on the screen right here is significantly smaller amounts of cash to invest. You literally can start um, some of these ventures with no cash out of pocket, or very little. You can work with your cell phone, your laptop, and start building a presence. It's really incredible what you can do in this day and age. And with that, you're getting higher returns. Lower investment, lower cash out of pocket, higher returns, and again, lower risk because you're basically using your sweat equity, your time to build these assets out. So again, a lot lower risk. So what are some of the best types of digital businesses that you can focus on? There are really three that are really top of mind, and that we'll really get into a little bit here. But affiliate marketing. Um, this is really just direct promotion of products or services. So you're finding the best products out there and you're putting them out in front of people. You want to promote products that you truly believe in. Digital agency is another one, and that's where you're basically growing business for clients. You're basically, think of yourself as an ad agent, but so much more. You're helping them to get out in front of customers. You're growing their customer base and their clientele, and you're doing that through web design, app development, SEO, which is search engine optimization. And what's incredible is that these are skills that if you don't have them right now, you can learn them in very, very short amount of time. Um, Anybody is capable of, stepping in and doing any one of these types of digital businesses that you see on the screen right here. And the other, the last one here, digital knowledge. What's great about this is I don't care who you are, you have something to share. Um, you may or may not believe that. I know sometimes we sell ourselves short, right? But you really have so much to offer. And I think if you would just step back and take one or 2 minutes and start listing out the things that you've learned in your life, it would be incredible to understand what you can actually teach other people. And you don't have to be the best in the field. You just have to know a little bit more than the people that you're teaching, right? Um, if you're, great at cooking, you can share your recipes online. You can, share your ability to cook and teach others how to cook. Um, the opportunities are really endless there. So you're like, all right, I'm ready. I want to get started, but how do I get started? And really, step two, it's really kind of the um, maybe the most challenging part for some folks. You understand that the system's not working for you currently. You need to be doing things differently. You're pumped up and you're fired up. You're ready to start doing stuff differently. Problem is, you just don't know where to start. You don't know how to start, and it might seem a little intimidating, but don't let that happen. It's very easy. First, do some of your own research. Find someone reputable that you can trust. Um, Again, somebody that's been there and done that. There's lots of gurus out there. There are folks that are that have made money in these avenues, and it really is a lot of opportunity. But be careful too. And I'm sure your Facebook feed's been littered with, here's the guy with the Lamborghini, and here's his other 5 cars and his giant mansion, and he's gonna, here's my bank statement. I have $20 million I made in the last 2 years, and I can do this for you too. Be careful. If it seems too good to be true, it very well might be, and I think that's some lessons that we've all learned in life. Um, but again, you want to align with somebody who's been there and done that for you. And again, we were talking about affiliate marketing, earlier. Yes, you might run into some ads where someone's going to tell you, hey, just take my funnel. I'm going to give you a funnel, and I'm going to, this is the $1 million funnel. You're going to make $1 million with it. Be careful of those types of promises, right? Um, it's a digital age, and things change very, very rapidly. And if somebody's going to give you something that's working today, but not teach you how to do it yourself, that's not going to help you in 6 months from now when things change. So you want the education yourself. You want to learn from the best, and you want to be able to do this on your own. Um, so again, just keep that in mind as you're doing some of your own research here online. And now step three, radically change your perspective. Um, and that this is step three doesn't necessarily mean that this is any less important than the first 2 steps. If anything, this is the most important step. Um, Most important step. I mean, frankly, you know, that you're ready for a change, you know, but you need to identify your why. You need to stay motivated in this. That's one of the biggest aspects that you're going to find when you start going down. Because let's face it, like I said earlier, you're going to be wanting to unlearn what you've learned and relearn. Um, we've all had, me personally, I've had, years of education, through public school, higher education through academia, college degree certification, CPA certification. Um, but they don't teach you in school what you really need to know to succeed, and it's really a sad fact of life. Um, so again, you're going to be really changing your perspective on everything. And to do that, you want to identify some of your bad habits and commit to yourself that you're going to end them. Um, it's crazy that I was doing some research the other day, and I saw that the average American watches 3.5 hours of TV every day. 3.5 hours. So what could you be doing with those 3.5 hours of time that you're sitting in front of a TV, just mindlessly, you know, binging the next, Netflix, TV series, and nothing wrong with getting some downtime and freeing your mind, letting yourself decompress a little bit at the end of the day. But man, those are some bad habits that if you just committed that time, you'd be really surprised at what you can change in your, in your life. So, you know, those are some of those time killers. And you might be sitting there saying to yourself, well, I don't have the money to do this. I just got done telling you, some of these, affiliate marketing, you can start off with a really, really, really low cost out of pocket to get started. It's really about your time and what effort you want to put into it. And again, I think the other day, I think I saw there the average American spends over $1,000 a year on coffee. Redirect a little bit of that. It's it if you really look at your budget and start doing a budget and figure out where your money's going, you could really redirect some of that to change your life. And chicken exits. When do you give up? When do you end up wanting to quit? What makes you say, I'm done. I'm walking away from this? Because I don't know about you, but there have been times in my life where I've tried things and I never really went 100% in. You know, when you start going down this path, you're going to want to really discipline yourself to show up every single day. You have to be your best advocate because you may have support from individuals around you, which is great. I mean, if you have friends and family that support you, it's an incredible feeling. But there are going to be days where things just don't go right. You have to be there, and you have to show up every single day and keep telling yourself, because let's face it, sometimes the best or the worst voice is your own voice. How many times do you sit there and do you beat yourself up? I'm dumb, I'm stupid. That was a dumb idea. Why'd I even try that? Change that voice. And I think what you're going to see here coming up is there's a complete blueprint, a complete system, that really helps you to rethink everything. So let's maybe get into that a little bit here. So you're ready, right? You're going to say, Jim, ready for what? Come on. You just threw a lot of stuff at me. What am I ready for? Okay. Are you ready to accumulate assets, perform at a higher level, generate wealth, have stronger relationships? Okay, I'm reading the screen here, I know. But, man, I really wish my video share was working right now, because you see up on the screen there the Unlock Your Potential book. I'm holding it in my hand right now, and I'm showing it to the monitor, which I really don't think anybody's seeing because, again, my technology expertise is not necessarily the best all the time, but I picked up a copy of the book. Actually, I got 10 of the copies of these books over on my shelf. I'm just about through it. I'm probably going to go through it probably at least 5 more times once I'm done reading it. Excuse me, my voice is starting to go here. But this book is truly, truly transformational. It's going to open up your eyes and remove scales to the way that um, the way you have been used to thinking. Um, you're just gonna see things in a much different light. Um, I mean, that's really all I can explain at this point. It really is truly incredible. But it was written by a mentor of mine, Jeff Lerner. And what I've learned from him over the past several months here this year is, um, like I said, it's absolutely transforming my life. Um, I'm I'm well on my way to setting up my digital assets. What I've learned so far, it's just incredible. So Jeff, he's one of your serial entrepreneurs. Um, he's lived by this mindset his entire life. Essentially, I think he's really only had one 9 to 5 job, and it was when he was 16 years old. And he decided at that point in time he wasn't going to um, work for somebody. He was gonna make his own way, and he was gonna have his own business. And when you read the book, what's great is you know he goes through the trial and error of the mistakes that he's made. He's he goes through 11 different businesses that he went through in a period of time. They were just absolute failures. And I hate using that word failure, and I know Jeff hates using that word failure as well because they're not failures; they're learning opportunities. Anytime you try something, you're doing what 90% of people aren't doing. You're getting off the couch. You're you're putting rubber to the road, and you're learning something. You know, just because you didn't succeed necessarily, there's definitely a lesson there to be learned in whatever you're doing. And he has, like I said, 11 businesses that frankly failed. Right up until until he started going down digital assets. I think one of his biggest problems was leverage. He just he just wasn't seeing the success coming out of the businesses that he was doing. But what's really great is read the book. You're going to learn so much just off of his experiences. I've always thought that a smart man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So, me personally, I'm really enjoying learning from all of Jeff's mistakes. And I know that it's setting me up on a personal path for success, to be honest with you. So, in a few minutes here, I'm going to, talk to you about that book and how you can get it. But in addition to that book, and this is what's truly incredible about Jeff and the, and Entra. He's when he gives you something, he's giving you value. So not only with the book, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's $29. And again, I'm holding the book up here. You can't see it, but it's a hardcover, um, 350 plus pages, 351 pages all the way to the end, jam packed. And like I said, I'm almost through the book, and I'm probably going to end up reading it 5 more times because there's just so much to get out of it that you're not going to get it all out at once. But like I said, when Jeff gives you something, he gives you value. $29 for a hardcover book. I mean, that in and of itself, sign me up, right? But no, you're going to get so much more. And we went through the 3 steps here of how you're going to radically transform your life, how you're going to set up digital assets. You're going to identify the best source of passive income. Look what else you're going to get. You're going to get a success roadmap. You're going to get the income jumpstart training. This all helps you to identify that best source of passive income for you. It's going to help you learn how to start adding revenue streams. Learn from the experts who have done it already. Again, that's the book. That is the book. The book is the expert who's been there, done that, and it's gonna help take the scales off your eyes. But you're gonna get a one-on-one coaching calls. Um, you know, it's your success advisor that's going to walk you through the processes. You're gonna be able to join the Entre Nation community. And what's truly incredible about this is, we've already talked earlier that you're going to be radically changing your perspective. You're going to be unlearning. You don't learn how to do the system. You don't learn how to, I don't want to say play the system, but you don't learn by not being around, like-minded individuals. And this is an entire community of entrepreneurs. And I just want to say, a few months ago, it was back in May, you know, the further you go down the path with Entre here, there's actually opportunity where you can network, and go to live trainings. And I did one back in May, and I met a great group of individuals, great group of guys that we still talk with each other. We have regular weekly calls that we support each other. One of us starts getting discouraged, or something's not working in our business, we talk it out. It's just an incredible community, and you're not going to succeed if you don't surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and you're going to get that with the Entre Nation community. And again, just radically changing that perspective, you're going to get the the Entre Way doctrine, that really, outlines, what to do. And the Awesome Life app. What's really great about the Awesome Life app, if you've ever heard me talk about it before in any of my videos here, is when you go through Entra, Jeff's a big proponent of not just financial success. Financial success is great, and it's, well, I mean, let's be honest, you wouldn't be watching this video right now if that wasn't one of your end goals, right? But it's so much more. You know, he wants to see you succeed personally, professionally, physically. It doesn't make sense to have money if you're, frankly, a jerk, right? Um, you want to foster, you know, good relationships with your family, good relationships with your neighbor. So the Awesome Life app, what it really does, it really helps you to see things differently. It helps set you up for success in all those areas. And also there's a fourth P there, purpose. Um, Again, we talked before about finding your why. It's hard to succeed if you don't know why you're doing it. And man, everybody has a purpose in life. I truly believe that we are all created for a purpose. And I find it hard to believe that, that our purpose is just to sit there and clock in and out of a job that, we may or may not be happy with every single day, just waiting for retirement so we could hopefully reach that $1 million mark, call it the $1 million lie, where it's not even enough for you to enjoy retirement. You're going to be sitting there, you want to travel, but you're not going to have the funds to travel. But again, I think we're just all created for that purpose, for a purpose, and find that purpose. Find that purpose. So, again, hope this was eye-opening at the very least. Um, I, I just hope that you take action, though. Again, how much you spend on coffee every day. How much, go out to dinner. What are you going to spend? $50 if you go. You and your wife go out for dinner. You and your girlfriend, whatever. $50 at least. I'm talking about a book for $29, and you know the complete success roadmap to get you there. A complete community of like-minded individuals. So again, hope this was super helpful. Again, I know you're all creative for much better things than you know. Give yourself more credit than more credit. At any rate, I'm going to throw a call to action out there. Um, Hopefully, if you're able to catch us on a replay, drop a comment below, like it. If I see it in my if I see a response to you on my page, I'll definitely drop you a message in the in Messenger, information how to get it. Go out to my website, jimchristopherii.com. Jim Christopher II, that is. Just go out to the website. Got a lot of information there on how you can get the book, and all those bonuses as well. And I'm going to end up putting this on YouTube as well. I'm going to download it from Facebook, get this onto YouTube. So if you happen to be looking on YouTube, again, check out my website, check out my Facebook page. You can find me at Jim Christopher CPA. You can also find me on TikTok at The Imperfect Dad. Speaking of imperfect dads, I got a Facebook group out there. It's called The Imperfect Dads. Go and find me out there if you're a dad. I think what we're going to see there is a lot of like-minded individuals. Well, I, I say like-minded. We're like-minded in the fact that we all want our kids to succeed. We're all there for a reason. Again, if you're a dad, I think your first purpose is to raise better human beings than you already are, right? Um, I know me for one. I try to make myself better every day, and I'm really hoping that my kids are going to be better than me. So personal plug for the Imperfect Dads Facebook group. Pop out there, ask for your personal invite. Um, Again, check out my website, drop a comment. Um, Happy to answer any questions you guys might have. But again, you're created for so much more, and I know we all have that purpose there. So Hope to hear from you guys, and I'm sure I'll talk to you here in the future. Have a great evening. Bye.